We can monitor all FortiClient registrations by going back to User and Device, going to Monitor, and then going to FortiClient. And there we see the registration details of our device, our operating system, our user account, and even the IP address of our system, among other details about our user computer. This information can also be viewed under Device Definitions, which is here under Device, where you will see very similar details of our computer that is registered from the Endpoint Control feature. Okay, so back to the FortiClient program showing the web filter being disabled even though it is enabled and the other options work perfectly fine, such as our application firewall. So we are able to replicate this behavior several times, and it seems to be related to some type of a bug. So for the different customer environments, we tend to not enable web filter and focus on application firewall, which is providing deeper inspection anyway. But again, going back to the FortiClient profile on our firewall, let's move this aside. Okay, you will see that particular option is enabled and we have selected the employee profile. It's not disabled, it is enabled. But if you still want to enforce web filter, the best solution at this time is to apply that within the same security policy that we created earlier. So let's go back to our existing policy. Okay, here it is. And basically within this particular policy, under security profiles, you want to enable web filter and specify the correct profile, which we already did. So now if we go back to our user computer and let's try to access a site that should be blocked, like YouTube, and it gets blocked. Let's confirm if our application firewall also blocks, let's say, storage backup type sites, and that also works. And that is part of our FortiClient program there. So if there are any changes or fixes to this behavior, I will provide a video update for this feature, but that is something to keep in mind. And that will conclude this video for learning how to set up and use Endpoint Control on the FortiGate.